All right, and welcome back to another episode, man. Episode number 4 of our podcast, Sports Biz from an Agent's Perspective. I can't believe we're already at 4 episodes, man. Literally, it was just like last week when I uploaded the first one. Exciting times. I was nervous as hell, but now I think I'm starting to ease into it. Obviously, I'm still learning a lot. There aren't really any do's and don'ts of podcasting. I think podcasting is one of those things where you're allowed to fuck up and you just, get up and keep going. So, yeah, just bookmark that. There aren't any do's or don'ts within podcasting. So if you want to start your podcast, man, I would encourage you to just get started and make it as raw as possible and just let it fly. Let it fly. All right, so today's episode it's going to be quite an interesting one. It's definitely something that's, pretty much, how can I say? It's pretty much something that sort of, in inverted commas, governs, the online world, pretty much. Okay? And today's topic will basically be the impact of social media, within professional sports and entertainment. So we're going to dive deep into that. And we're just going to have a discussion. And again, I don't know if you've caught on, but with my podcasts, we look at the good as well as the bad that comes with everything. So as much as, the online world, the social media influence within professional sports and entertainment, even though it's been positive in some aspects, there's definitely been a downside to it. All right. So that's what we're going to have a look at during the podcast. But before I start that, I actually want to run a promotion with regards to an online course that our division, MAG Digital Marketing Division, created. And it's an online digital marketing course that I'm actually offering to, either athletes or anyone who wants to learn about the skill of digital marketing. All right. Digital marketing is a skill that is high in demand at the moment because of this digital era that we are actually in. So learning those skills can actually, if you're someone who's unemployed, learning these skills can actually sort of change your life and either make you employable or actually present an opportunity for you to actually start working for yourself as well. Because the skills that you pick up over here can enable you to either become a freelancer or just launch your own digital marketing agency, of some sort. So just to tell you a little bit about the online course. So the online course offers, like topics that are covered within the course are things like web design. You learn how to design your own websites. All right. You learn web design. You learn social media management, proper content creation, for social media. And this skill can be very helpful if you're either going to work for an organization which has, like a Facebook or Instagram page, and they need someone to run it. So having this kind of knowledge and knowing how to create content could be a good skill for you to learn and a good skill for you to use, within the online digital marketing space. All right. And then you also learn social media marketing. Now, with social media marketing, again, this is content creation, but it also comes with running paid advertising campaigns using, social media platforms. For example, in my course, you learn how to create paid advertising campaigns using either Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which other one? And Google. You also learn running paid advertising campaigns using those platforms. Okay. And then also within the course, you also learn about search engine optimization. That's where I teach you about blogging and actually ways in optimizing your site. Now, when optimizing your site, that means that you're getting people to actually visit your site. So search engine optimization basically refers to you being able to make your site rank highly on Google, since Google is a search engine. So that means that when you create content for your website, Google will start deeming you as a reliable source for whatever industry you're in. All right. And then when people are typing in for example, how to, I don't know, build a website. And then let's say maybe you blog about building websites. Or let's say maybe you run a certain service. Let's say maybe you're a health coach. And then someone's Googling, perfect diet or perfect ways to exercise. And then if Google is ranking your site highly, then your site will appear when a person is searching for those services. So that means that they'll be able to see your product or services, and they'll be, able to purchase from you or get in contact with you, and then you guys can do business in whichever way. So that's what search engine optimization means. So you also learn that within the online course. And then also within the online course, you also learn how to build video streaming websites. All right. So that's another technological skill that's become high in demand because due to the coronavirus, a lot of things have had to be remote. So this course, you're basically going to learn how to create your own website with video streaming so that you can either create for a company or create for yourself. And video streaming, there are ways to monetize, because if you can get a lot of people onto your platform as well, like onto your site, people viewing your videos, then you're able to monetize through advertising with that. So it opens up so many opportunities, man. And all of this content is available on our online course. All right. So if you want to check out a demo of the course, you can head over to www.limitlessathlete.net. And then when you're on there, you go to the menu bar and you just scroll down to demo digital marketing online course. And then you'll be able to see a demo video of the online course and also a sample, course sample that you can actually view. And then you can make a decision if this is something that is for you or not. Okay. And then as just, additional resources to the online course, I published at the beginning of this year 2 digital marketing books. The Future Looks Digital, and I split them into 2 parts so that people aren't overwhelmed by the information. All right. So you can get these books as additional, reading material or resources because they are actually linked to the course. Okay. So they can be really helpful in just, staying up to date, or if there's something maybe you've forgotten that you've learned from the course, you can refer to the books which are published, and they're both available on Amazon.com. All right. And the name of the books is The Future Looks Digital. All right. And the name of the online course is Digital Marketing Online Course. And I'll say the website again. The website is www.limitlessathlete.net. Okay. And then scroll down on the menu to Demo Digital Marketing Online Course. All right. So if you want to learn those skills, man, I encourage you to do it because these are skills that I learned as well on top of my marketing degree and my master's degree, which included a lot of marketing courses. But I wanted to buffer up my online digital marketing knowledge. I took an online course and it totally changed my life, man. I was able to start designing websites for myself and for small businesses as well. I helped my sister as well for her MBA. She needed a website. I designed one for her and she was able to present that to her professors. So it's a skill that is relevant in today's job market and which guys can really use to further their careers and get ahead. And like I said, you can use it as either to gain employment, or you can use it to start your own thing. You can use it as a freelancer. So yeah, man, take that chance and check out the course, or at least check out the demo and then decide if it's something that you believe that you would need. All right. So I hope everyone is well. And now we're about to dive deep into our topic for today. Funny enough, I did mention a couple of social media names in the promo, but now we're actually going to get into our topic, which is the impact of social media within pro sports and entertainment. All right, let's have a look. So, social media is this thing that, when I first discovered social media, which was in 2008, it was just this new, how can I say, this new wave or new experience that allowed me to connect with friends that I hadn't, spoken to, some since kindergarten, or some since primary school, or some since high school, So it was just this unbelievable experience of nostalgia mixed with, I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, nostalgia mixed with excitement, mixed with, mystery, because no one really knew what this tool was all about. And we would later find out. Fucking hell. So I signed up to Facebook in 2008, and I sort of just went with it, and, caught my stride, connected with people I hadn't seen in a while. And, for some years, it seemed like, a pretty good, platform to be on. I didn't try Twitter until I think like 2009 or 2010. Then I went on Twitter just to, give it a try, and realized it wasn't really for me. I kept my account, but I hardly ever used it. And I carried on just using Facebook. And then after 2010, man, this wave of social media platforms just, kept coming. Because after Twitter, then there was the rise of Instagram, and I didn't get on Instagram until, 2013, I think. Yeah, 2013 was when I signed up on Instagram. And it was also just this new experience, which was totally different to Facebook, because on here, it wasn't much about, posting a status update or anything. It was just about sharing images, sharing moments, and then, viewing other people's sort of content, Again, still oblivious to what this whole social media era is all about, And then I think I caught fire of what all of this was about. I think around 2014, 2015, that's when you started really seeing the impact of social media. And, because I was an athlete at that time as well, I got to see what it did for, superstar athletes that were really at the pinnacle of their level. That's when you started seeing that, oh shit, this social media thing, it's number one, it's here to stay. And number two, it's totally changing the industry of professional sports and entertainment. And, just being able to witness and view the ups and downs, the rise and the fall of some professional athletes because of social media. All right, now let's have a look at what it did for professional soccer, football, So, professional soccer has always been probably the biggest sport in the world, arguably, for sure. I think now it's definitely down to between soccer and basketball, but I still think football is bigger than basketball. And trust me, I know. I'm a football agent now, and every day on my LinkedIn, I'm constantly getting invites of people who want to try do business, football related business. Some seem genuine, but some are just downright fucking sketchy, man. Like, it's really one of those industries where you need to come on, you need to come into this industry with your eyes wide open, because there are a lot of chances. But anyway, that's another discussion for another day regarding, people that you should work with, that you meet online or not. But anyway, let me go back to my point. So, yeah, so it was just one of those where you just witness, man. It's a very big sport, a very popular sport. And when you look at the different leagues, you look at a league like the English Premier League. Now I started watching the English Premier League, I think around 1999, after the World Cup 98, in South Africa. They started broadcasting a lot of the games in the English Premier League, and if you had Mnet, you would have like access to them. So I started watching, and it was exciting football, man. I had never seen football with so many goals. And I remember me and my late older brother, we both supported Arsenal when we started watching English football. We would always watch like the magazine show, which was sponsored by, I think, Western Union Money Transfer. I can't remember the name of the show, but all I remember was just that Western Union logo. And they always used to basically play the highlights of all the games during that week. So that's when we were able to select. And at that time, and Arsenal was playing amazing football. That's when they had the likes of Emmanuel Petit, Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp. Who else? Was Edgar Davids ever part of Arsenal? I'm not sure. But I think Edgar Davids was also there. Yeah, man, they had a mean team. And like I'm saying, it was just a magazine show that was just action-packed with just goals. And I mean, taking nothing away from South African football at the moment, man. Shout out. At that time, SA football was also at its height. That's when legends like your Benny McCarthy's, your Lucas Radebes, your John Shoes Mishweu, and a lot of other guys were just playing outstanding football. But we had just discovered this English Prem, and it was exciting to watch. So that's when I started following the English Premiership. Yeah, it was around 98, 99. And then, I've been following it ever since. But my point is, what social media did for a competition like the English Premier League, you can't put into words, man. It amplified it so much. There isn't a day when I don't go on my social media platforms and guys aren't talking about the English Premier League. That's how big it's gotten. I definitely think the English Prem is the biggest football product in the world at the moment. I think it's definitely the biggest league in the world. And that is through the engagement that you see on social media. All of my friends, man, on social media, guys are always talking about the Chelsea game from the weekend. Guys are always dogging Man United for not being the team that they used to be, because like me, they've been following them for a couple of years. Just guys taking cheap shots at each other, chirping one another. I mean, it's all good banter, but my point is, that's what social media has done for a league like the English Premier. The League One in France is also pretty big. I mean, Paris Saint-Germain is a big brand. But apart from Paris Saint-Germain, I doubt everybody could name 10 teams from the French League unless you're like a big football supporter. So the point I'm trying to make is, social media definitely amplified the English Premier League to heights that I don't think any other league can ever reach. Especially in our lifetime, Excuse me, I'm just gonna have a sip of water, because when I talk, man, I just get parched because I'm so passionate about this subject. All right, I'm gonna have a drink of water. All right, back to my chat. Okay, so now let's have a look at what social media has done for players individually. All right. I was actually doing a bit of research because I didn't want to feed you guys, fake statistics. But, I went on Instagram and I actually checked out Cristiano Ronaldo's Instagram page. The guy has over 355 million followers. Dude, that is bigger than some of your biggest celebrities that are actors or musicians. That's huge. That's massive. And, with that, just imagine how much money Instagram is making just for having Ronaldo's profile on their platform. Let's look at a guy like Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi has 274 million followers on Instagram. Neymar Jr. has 163 million followers on this platform. So already, by these guys' individual accounts, take away the teams they play for, these guys are making Instagram so much money just for being on their platform. And that, again, is the influence of social media. And I think if you're a player who reaches superstardom, social media will definitely create so many opportunities for you. And it's actually surprising because Ronaldo, with his 355 million followers, he's not the highest paid figure within Instagram. The highest sporting figure that is paid on the platform is Odell Beckham Jr. Fucking hell, that guy makes so much money on Instagram. I'm not going to bullshit you with the numbers. I don't know the numbers, but I do know that on the Skip and Shannon show, it was reported that OBJ makes the most amount of money for any athlete in the world when it comes to social media revenue. So that's what these platforms have created for these superstar athletes, is that these guys basically now have this additional income stream that they can really maximize on. And with that, it creates an opportunity for a guy that, even, post his playing career, he's still able to find a way to leverage his superstardom and his celebrity status and continue to make a living. Because, what's seemingly happening, the one thing that is that's an ongoing pandemic in inverted commas, is the fact that when guys retire, man, within the first 3 to 5 years, if they mismanage their funds while playing, it means that after 3 to 5 years of retiring, most of them go broke. That's unacceptable with all the resources that are available today. Yeah, with guys from the past, I totally understand. Like guys who played professional sports in an era before social media, I totally understand how they can go broke, because again, it's mismanagement of funds, and once the playing contracts, that money dries up, usually the guys have no skills. So it's understandable that the next job that they get will never pay them the same amount of money that they were getting to run around, throw a ball, kick a ball, and so forth. So that was understandable. But in today's society, man, with how big social media is now, there is no excuse. There's honestly no excuse, because now guys are really put in a situation where they can partner with brands, and they can become influencers, and they can really cash out on that influencer money. And guess what? Because they are notable faces, that means that even after they're done playing, people aren't going to stop knowing them, because, they know that this guy used to play for this team and such and such and such and such. So that means that they can always leverage their status with brands to carry on the relationships, keep it going, ride the gravy train for as long as they can. That is the power that social media has, man. And that is the platform that social media has created for a lot of these athletes. And in most of the times, you don't even need to be a superstar athlete for you to get these major brand partnerships. You just need to know how to move. You need to be savvy. You need to make sure that your agent is aware of these opportunities, because a lot of the times in the past, agents were dependent on endorsement deals based on how big of a superstar their player is. Nowadays, all your player needs to have is just over 1,000 followers. And obviously, if they're a professional and people get to see them on TV and they've got over 1,000 followers, that's enough leverage to propose to a brand about engaging in a partnership deal of some sort. Sponsorship or partnership deals, ambassadorship deals. Obviously, with endorsement, that goes to more the bigger superstars. But sponsorship and ambassador deals, those can be attained by players who are not superstars. So those are the things that as sports agents we constantly need to be looking out for, because you can no longer only depend on the player's playing contract. You got to find ways for your guy to maximize his earnings for as long as possible while he's hot, pretty much, on the market. So that is my challenge to all sports agents, and not only soccer agents, whether you're a rugby agent, whether you're a basketball agent, whether you're a tennis agent, whatever. I challenge you that, you become tech savvy and you become streetwise in terms of the opportunities that social media has laid out pretty much for your client. So yeah, so that's with regards to football. Now let's have a look at another sport like basketball. It's the same story as football, man. You know, athletes like LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade. I could go on. I could name heaps of guys. LaMelo Ball. I mean, LaMelo Ball had over 1 million followers before he entered the NBA. So imagine the opportunities that he was getting. He hadn't even set foot as a full-time NBA player, and he was already on that influencer money. So those are the opportunities, man, and guys really need to grab them with everything. And I mean, after Melo joined the league, his followers went way up, and now he's getting all these off-field endorsement deals. I mean, I checked during the summer vacation, during the off-season of the NBA, him, and both his brothers, Lonzo and LiAngelo, were engaging in brand-related activities, and I was like, yep, that's smart from the boys. That's what you need to do. But I have no doubt that, those ball boys, they're definitely going to be around the NBA for a long time, especially Lonzo and LaMelo. LiAngelo, my opinion is, I still think he should rather opt to play in the EuroLeague or any other league overseas, because he's a good player, but I just don't think he has enough juice to really solidify himself as a regular starter in the NBA. That's my honest opinion. But I do think in the EuroLeague, he'd kill it. He'd really kill it. And I mean, guys in the EuroLeague, they earn decent amounts of money. Obviously, he won't be getting ridiculous NBA money. For instance, I mean, his brother Lonzo signed a 4-year, $84 million deal. He's not going to get deals like that. But I mean, for a player of his magnitude now and his experience, because he's been with the Charlotte Hornets, a guy like LiAngelo can at least get over 2 to 3 million US dollars, playing overseas in Europe. That's still a lot of money, guys. We should never, ever, ever, look down on that amount of money. That's a lot of money. But anyway, let me not digress too much. Let me head back to my point. So my point is just what social media has done for a league like the NBA as well. Same as the English Premiership, English Premier League. Social media has amplified the NBA. Now the NBA has become popular in basketball regions that you'd have never imagined. I mean, take my home country, for example. We've always been, sort of aware that, okay, a league like the NBA exists, but the NBA has never really been big in South Africa. But now, because of social media, so many people have access to their stars and, game highlights. Guys are discovering players that, they can follow. Their merch is getting more and more and more popular. Like when you go on social media, you're seeing a lot of guys rocking either LeBron James, Lakers, throwbacks, or so basically everything is just taking off, man. Everything is just taking off. And the NBA, because of social media, has really been able to penetrate markets and really establish themselves on those markets as well, and just grow in terms of the league. And with that growth, that's more revenue for the league, which means more money, more TV money, more money for the athletes as well. And this is all because of social media, because TV could only reach so many people. When people are on the go and they're not seeing these games on TV, it doesn't help. All right. And because of social media, that also now created the rise of these streaming platforms. Because now these streaming platforms, some of them are actually linked to social media, where now guys are able to watch games, streaming on Facebook or streaming on YouTube type of thing. So all of these things are because of the influence of social media. So that's how much revenue social media has created and generated for these two leagues. Same with the rugby. I'm not going to go too deep into the rugby thing because I haven't lived in South Africa for many years. I'm not really sure how the numbers are and what social media has done, but I do know that because of social media and the engagement that it creates, using Twitter and Facebook, that it's definitely helped in in amplifying the game in the country, because everyone, again, is aware that not everyone has the time to sit at home and watch the game on TV anymore. So that's why even platforms like SuperSport created like a streaming device where guys can watch the game on the go. So yeah, I guess that would be my 2 cents in the rugby sphere with regards to how social media has amplified the game. It's just, with the engagement thing, because again, the engagement that the game of rugby causes online. I'll also discuss, on the negative aspects of social media. But social media has helped in creating a lot of engagement around the game of rugby in South Africa and other, rugby playing regions as well. So that's how powerful social media has been. All right, so now enough of praising social media. Let us go into the negatives that social media has brought with it. And man, you're going to want to hold on to your seats for this. Okay, I'm going to have another drink of water. Things, I guess it goes back to the yin and the yang, that with every good, there has to be bad in it. And with every bad, there's good in it. Okay, enough of that philosophical mumbo jumbo. Let's now really dig into it. The dark side of social media, man, is that social media has also been a platform to perpetuate and to just amplify hate, amongst individuals. Like, I never knew how broken of a world, man, we live in until I saw the dark side of social media. Again, like I'm telling you, for me, I think I was just a little bit too naive, subscribing to this whole social media generation, because it was literally about reconnecting with people that I wish I had stayed in connection with. But the dark side makes you see that and makes you question yourself that, fuck, man, wouldn't it have been better if I just stayed away from this fucking platform? Because, damn it, I had never witnessed so much negativity all in one day. And the weird thing about social media is that all it starts with a post, a certain post. Now, it could be a post about racism. It could be a post about homophobia. It could be a post about just anything offensive to to a group of people. And what starts to happen is engagement will obviously start from there. And then from that engagement, more, sort of like things related to that hateful topic will start to resurface. And you're like, what the fuck is going on here? It wasn't until I took my online digital marketing course did I realize what was happening. That it's all algorithm. The more a certain topic has engagement from online users, the more it's going to start trending, and the more related topics are going to start popping up on your timeline. That's what I had to realize, and that's what I didn't realize in the beginning, because I would honestly get so confused that, damn it, why are there so many... let's say, for example, if I'd seen something about racism, and let's say on that particular day I decided to comment as well. Big mistake. I kid you not. And then all of a sudden, when you go back on later on, it's another, let's say, racist remark. And then the next day, another one, and another one, another. And it just all adds up and builds up. And it keeps you in this circle, man, or just this funk of negativity, anger, And I just asked myself that, no, man, what the fuck is going on? And then after I had taken that online course and learned about algorithm and how it works and everything, it sort of taught me how to move in the social media space, that sometimes it's best not to engage, not to comment, because guess what? That's the content you've subscribed to, and that's the content that you're going to get for the rest of your fucking day. And I don't know about you, man, but I can do without that shit. I've accepted we don't live in a perfect world. There are people who are fucked up. There are people who are going to say fucked up things. But I don't have to subscribe to that. I can just change the channel. It's like changing a channel on a television set. When you're not enjoying the show, what do? You simply change the channel and you subscribe to new content. So that's when I went on my way and just started seeking more positive content to view, because wow, that hateful shit was just it was a lot. So that's pretty much a part of the downside. And again, this whole thing of athletes being able to capitalize on their stardom and celebrity, that can also be a downfall when it comes to their social media. Because fucking a lot of guys shoot themselves so much in the foot. That usually happens a lot in social media where, a superstar athlete will post something very controversial, something that may offend, a certain group of people, and that person will experience backlash. And with that backlash comes consequences. There are athletes or entertainers in whatever realm, in whatever industry, that have lost endorsement deals, that have lost contracts, employment contracts, that have lost networks and affiliations simply because they were running their mouth on their social media platform. I kid you not. You get guys who simply lose everything just by publishing a controversial statement on their social media platform. That's how big of an influence social media has become within society. So, yeah, oh man, it's unreal. I promise you. It's unreal. And what happens is now you have this mob of individuals, and I've seen it more on the Twitter space, this mob of individuals who will make this offensive individual trend on the platform, and they call for him to be cancelled. And hence the rise of cancel culture. They go around and they say this person has offended a group of people, he doesn't deserve whatever he's getting, he should be cancelled. And a lot of the times, a lot of the brands, they buckle. They really do buckle. And they fall to the pressure, and they cancel either the playing contract or the endorsement deal, because they don't want to be associated now with this individual, because them being associated with them might, affect their profitability. Companies are always looking at their bottom line, man. That's another thing that you should never, ever, ever, ever second guess. Their loyalty to you is a fickle mistress. So players, you need to be careful about the content you post. And I think, again, our role as, sports agents, I think this is where we come in and intervene, because a lot of the times, and I'm in no way excusing the behavior of some athletes who go online and say stupid shit. I'm not excusing it at all. But I'm just saying that people are rebellious. People are of the, whole freedom of speech thing. And they really don't understand that once you become a public figure, once you turn pro in your sport, or you become a famous entertainer, the flip side, man, is that you actually do lose your freedom to just say anything because of the platform that you have, because of the power that you have. Right? I don't know how many of you have ever watched the Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, where in Spider-Man 1, his uncle says, with great power comes great responsibility. So this is pretty much the truth you got to lay out as an agent for your client, that now you're no longer just an average guy walking down the street. Now you have a platform. Now you have a voice. Now you have a massive following. And that comes with responsibility. responsibility in how you move, responsibility in the content that you put out. So it's a different time, man. It's really a different time, and you gotta appreciate it for what it is, and you just gotta be careful. Look, nobody's perfect. All right, nobody has to be a fucking Boy Scout and walk around like they're perfect or anything. And I think that's the unrealistic expectation that the online world or the impact of social media puts on today's professional athletes and entertainers, is that they're just expected to be these perfect beings, and that's impossible. Guys are gonna have skeletons in their closets. Guys are gonna have demons. But it's important that as the agents who welcome these guys, as the agents who are now serving as mentors for these guys who are young, who sometimes don't understand the magnitude of this opportunity they've been given, it's up to us to honestly, sit down with them and you tell them that, listen, before you post anything on social media, you have to give us a chance to review. Because if it's something that might hurt your brand, then, you're literally shooting yourself in the foot. It only takes one moment to destroy everything you've been building. One moment of stupidity, one moment of foolishness, and everything could be taken away in a day. And yeah, man. So social media, that's a dark side of it. And another thing that we've seen as well is that guys have now seemingly started losing their work contracts because, like public figures, because maybe they did something wrong in their personal life. Let's say, for example, a guy cheats on his girlfriend or on his wife, and she goes on social media and she loses her shit, and she gets a couple of people to back her, and let's say a trend starts going around about this guy needing to be cancelled. Some companies are actually firing guys now for being unfaithful. That's how frivolous, man. That's how touch and go the situation has become within social media. So I urge you, athletes, entertainers, when getting on the platform, don't use it as a dear diary. Don't overshare. And if you have someone who's managing your brand, consult them before putting out content, because if it's something that could hurt you, you may live to regret it. You get guys who had everything yesterday, and then the day after, man, they are scraping cents together, trying to make ends meet. The one thing I'll tell you about the online world is once they're done with you, man, and they've hung you out to dry and you're fucked, they move on to the next victim. So move with caution. Let it fly. Have fun in your profession. Becoming a professional athlete is a privilege very few ever get to experience. And it doesn't matter how talented you are. I've seen guys who had so much talent and they never make it to, the top of their game. Not because they weren't focused enough. Well, some because of that, but sometimes because life happens, man. Life happens, injuries happen, careers end, and all of that other stuff. So the guys who are able to get that element of luck and actually strike it big and go pro, they are the guys that literally need to make sure that they squeeze and they milk the opportunity to its absolute maximum, because once it's done, it's done. You got to move on and find something else that's going to feed your soul the same way as your given sport was. All right. So just to wrap up, so that's literally been the pros and cons, or the good and the bad of social media. Is social media here to stay? Fuck yeah. Social media is not going anywhere. It's a new age. It's a new era. Now we are living in the digital age. So social media is here to stay. And more platforms are just going to keep arising. All right. It's about just learning which one works for you and what content you want to subscribe to. If you want content that suits your soul, that suits your mental health, go find it. If that means watching motivational videos on YouTube or following individuals that are promoting a healthy and fulfilled life on Instagram or on Facebook, then do that. All right? You have a choice to walk away from the negativity, and that choice is up to you. All right, so this brings us to the end of our episode 4 of Sports Biz from an agent's perspective. And like I say, this is a topic that we could talk about for a very long time, because it's got so many underlying layers that we could dive into and that we could analyze. But I'm sure this kind of topic will surface up again, and I'm sure maybe in later episodes, in future episodes, we'll dive deep and uncover other underlying layers within the impact of social media within professional sports and entertainment, or social media within our daily lives. All right, so that is it from me, and I look forward to seeing you all in episode number 5. Have a great day, have a good night, and cheers from Japan. And remember, before I go, our slogan for our podcast is that, ladies and gentlemen, we don't just talk sports, we lived it, and we continue to do so. All right, now, cheers and bye for real, all the way from Japan. Peace.